Hello, this is Frags. Today I'm going to be talking about this new game which just got announced like a day or two ago. THQ had their little online event, online show thingy, which like many other developers and publishers do these days. And they have announced a proper numbered sequel to the Jagged Alliance series. I guess you can call them a series. So, for those who don't know what Jagged Alliance is, Jagged Alliance 2 came out in 1999, just before the millennia. It's a 2D sort of game. It has this open RPG structure where you actually fought on this island called Arulco in JA2, and you hired mercenaries, and you would slowly try to take over the different regions in the island, send the mercenaries in, and they would go into a tactical battle situation. And sometimes those regions get attacked by your enemy as well. So it's not just taking over by these regions, like the enemy does fight back to you. And there's also management of expenses, buying bullets and ammos, making sure your mercenaries level up, get better over time, sort of have that XCOM sort of vibe in a way, when it comes to actually improving your mercenaries. And there's some a little bit of story here and there, but it was a very like open RPG sort of thing. But it was more of, I would say, a turn-based tactics game at its core. And the overworld, like the big strategic game, is sort of like the icing on the cake, which makes everything fit together really well. And Jagged Alliance 2 was not an easy game. We're talking about single headshot deaths and things like that. So a modern translation of Jagged Alliance 2 never quite worked out in the past. I think there was two pretty disappointing one. One was Jagged Alliance 2 back in action, or Jagged Alliance back in action, which is like I think it's Jagged Alliance back in action. It's a remake of the first game, like with a 3D engine and stuff. People didn't quite like it because it's the thing about remaking classics is that people want it to be more like classic, and also the game had some flaws as well, the remake. And JA2 Rage, sorry, was it Jagged Alliance 2 Rage? I think it was just called Jagged Alliance Rage, which was a little bit of a travesty. It was not a Jagged Alliance game, honestly speaking. They just slapped on the Jagged Alliance name onto it, and it was a decent game, but it's not Jagged Alliance, right? So this announcement is pretty exciting because they are finally putting the 3 behind the Jagged Alliance name, which could mean something, right? Could mean something. Now, this is under THQ Nordic, which they've done some pretty decent job. Like the games they publish, they have at least a little bit of, they're not just nickel diming people like I don't want to drop names, but certain other companies. Uh, but I again, as I said, cautiously optimistic here, because the developer of this game, as you can see there in the screen, is called Haemimont Games. Haemimont Games actually made some amazing games. They made like Tropical series, from Tropical 4, no, sorry, from Tropical 3 to 5, and they made the Surviving Mars game. They have really good quality games under their belt. A very reputable developer. They do really good job. So they taking on Jagged Alliance 3, sort of like, okay, this is not like some no-name development studio. They've got a reputation there. So okay, let's just watch the announcement trailer and let's see how the announcement trailer is. Let me go change the scene. Yes. So let's watch the announcement trailer.
Looks clear.
The diamond should be upstairs.
Soldiers incoming. Pull back. Stop! There is nowhere to go. Pull back. Pull back. He didn't know.
Bit of CG action.
Why is he laughing? Retrieving diamonds.
Okay, so you can see there a little bit of, those are mercenaries, by the way, fighting against the oppressors of whatever this fictional island or nation is. So these characters have real personality to them. Like you can see that two of them were trying to be stealthy, and one of them just like couldn't stand being stealthy and just threw a grenade and started the so-called battle, or basically cleared out the soldiers. So even though this is CG, it's sort of giving you that sort of vibe of what to expect in terms of your mercenaries. So there'll be very different characters here with specific traits, I guess. Let's continue watching.
More. We got them trapped.
What we are gonna do now, man?
Improvise.
So obviously they're doing an homage to the old Jagged Alliance by making it look a bit mappy, sort of like 2D kind of style. And you can see that now you're zooming out and you're seeing like a region here. I think this could be the new. It's not really an island. Jagged Alliance 3. Okay, so for the first time here, we are looking at like a bit of gameplay. This reminds me of like there's this game Phoenix Point. Is it Phoenix Phantom? That game was called Phantom Doctrine, right? This scene actually reminds me so much of Phantom Doctrine. It's also turn-based, but sort of XCOM-ish. But the problem with Phantom Doctrine was that you had humans moving around and like you could like you're basically a bullet sponge. You could took quite a bit of like shots, you know. But the thing about Jagged Alliance 3, they can't do that because in Jagged Alliance, if you get shot, you go down. You know, it's like Jagged Alliance has always tried to be sort of like realistic, but not really realistic, right? I mean, these are 2D characters and like over the top and stuff. It can never be like realistic, but they try to incorporate some element of realism in an abstract way, in their own way. So you've got a health bar and you've got an energy bar. I don't see an energy bar here. So in Jagged Alliance 2, there are two bars. One is HP and another one is the I think it's called an energy bar. So HP means that, energy means you would collapse if it goes to zero. You are just too tired or you are too injured or something. You need someone to come and fix you up basically. And the thing about Jagged Alliance too, if you've got a wound, you'll be bleeding. You'll be bleeding out. You need to treat wounds, right? Or wound is basically a death sentence. You've got to get somebody to come and treat. You know, so it was that sort of realism, like in a gamey, abstract, sort of old school way. And looking at this, I don't see an energy bar anywhere here. But this thing still shows like, okay, yeah, it doesn't. It seems to have a tile system, but it doesn't show tiles, which is pretty like close to the Jagged Alliance to original. Let's continue. So like right down there, they were showing like how let me just see. Yep. They're showing like there's like different chances of hit. This is so XCOM-ish, right? This is so XCOM-ish, like not 100% exactly like Jagged Alliance 2, but I guess this is how they envision if we were to modernize Jagged Alliance 2 sort of battle system, tactical battle, into like a modern version of it. I guess everything just becomes like an XCOM sort of style where you had different options there with different like hit chances. Let's just, so there's a third person sort of view, action view, I guess. Oh, so wait, hold on. Let me just go scroll back a little bit there. So you can see that clearly that you can actually pick where you want to attack. So there's 100% hit chance on the abdomen or headshots and stuff like that. That's also very close to like how, I believe that's how Jagged Alliance 2 was. You know, I believe so. That's how it was. So this is in burst mode. So that's cool. You can change to different firing mode. I guess this depends on your weapon as well. There are damage modifiers, body parts, burst fire, torso, 3 times 12 damage. So this is because this burst fire. So you have 3 shots, 2% chance of a critical. Yeah, pretty standard fare. I mean, XCOM didn't have such a thing. So I guess this is a Jagged Alliance thing. You know, that's cool. In a way, it's not exactly just a ripoff of XCOM, right? They are actually taking part of what made Jagged Alliance to unique and bringing them over with like specific targeting system of body parts, you know. Okay, let's continue here. Animations are not great. Maybe it's not in yet. I mean, of course, this is still being worked on. So he slides into cover. You can clearly see there's a tile system that is very XCOM-ish actually. So those are like, this is okay, different terrain here. Nice, different terrains like deserty and stuff. Okay, so this is obviously getting into the overworld sort of strategic part where I guess you manage your contracts. You get contracts, I believe. They're like contracts, right? Which pay you, like there's somebody that's paying you this stuff, and you can manage your mercenaries. You can hire and you can recruit new militia and stuff. Like I believe this game does that as well. Okay, so this is about Igor and like you can actually hire these characters. So you can offer them, yeah. This looks like their base. It's very hard to say whether this is how your base looks like. I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe this is just a civilian map actually. Yeah. Oh, they're playing football. Right, so Jagged Alliance 3. We don't have a release date for this yet, even though the Steam page shows that it's coming soon. So let me have a quick look at their official page here. There's a bit of information about what's going on in Jagged Alliance 2. You have the same systems. But this is a new nation, I guess, new story. But they're bringing some of the characters from Jagged Alliance 2, like Ivan, for instance. So it says here, Grand Chien is a new nation. Rich natural resources and deep political divides is thrown into chaos when the elected president goes missing, and a paramilitary force known as the Legion seizes control of the countryside. Now, the president's family has pulled together all their resources, including an arrangement with powerful Adonis operation to hire a group of skilled mercenaries tasked with finding the president and bringing order back to the country. So in Jagged Alliance 3, basically you are that mercenary group. You are hired by this Adonis corporation, hiring the skilled mercenaries to go in and bring back democracy, to kick out this paramilitary group and bring back democracy one region at a time. So it seems like Grand Chien, from what we can see, has like many different like desert areas, jungle areas and stuff. That's cool because it would be kind of boring if it's all jungle. I believe, I'm not sure whether Aruko actually had a mix of different terrains and stuff. I think it was mostly like jungle. It's like an island nation. This doesn't look like an island. It says it's just a nation, right? Aruko was actually an island. So the features are pretty straightforward. Engage in rich tactical turn-based combat. Yeah, okay. Recruit from a large cast of unique mercenaries, including many familiar fan favorites, which we loot, salvage, and customize an arsenal weaponry. And okay, so you can customize weapon. I'm not sure if that was in AA2 actually. Not sure. I think that could be new. Choose from a wide array of special perks to customize. I don't know whether perks were in JA2, but in theory, yes, you are customizing your mercs as they level up JA2. I think perks just sort of allows give them more like really defined traits, I guess. Decide the fate of Grand Chien. Yeah, we know that strategic map thing where you move your mercenaries and take over control of regions. Control territory, train the locals, which is you can train militia. Command multiple parties. Yeah, you can send people. You can send your militias or mercenaries to multiple regions. Defend against enemy forces in a live active world. So the enemy forces will move around the map. So it's not just you taking over one region at a time. Like they will fight back actually. Experience a campaign with friends in online co-op mode. Yeah, JH2 did not have co-op on release. But I believe there was a patch and a mod, I think in 1.13 or something. I don't recall. I never played multiplayer JA2 before. But it came later on. I think it was not an official patch. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a mod. There is co-op campaign in JA2. I think if you buy from GOG.com or even the Steam version. No, the Steam version says that it's single player only, but I think GOG.com shows you how to actually install the multiplayer mod or patch, unofficial patch. But yeah, I mean, this is a modern game, and any modern game should have online co-op. Actually, yeah. So actually, let me just quickly go to this page here. To find Jagged Alliance. So Jagged Alliance 3 does not have a release date. It does not have a release date. The release date is like it says coming soon, which can be just about anything. And yeah, you have the same text over here talking about it. It's mature, of course. Oh, there's also system requirements. Surprising that they've actually released system requirements, which means that maybe the release, maybe it would be released as early access, perhaps quite soon, maybe, you know, because what they showed didn't seem like final. So it's like a i5 4690K with a GTX 960 as minimum, 6 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs recommended, a GTX 1060 recommend. That's all. That's an okay. But the minimum of a GTX 960 means that those with those built-in graphics, Intel UHD or whatever, you know, those graphics which don't have computers without a discrete graphic card might not be able to play this. Although, you know, if it's listed as a GTX 960, it does not mean that anything less than that will not work in games, by the way. But they cannot basically guarantee a good playing performance. Okay, so I think it's okay. 20 gigabyte. It's pretty okay, I guess, for today's standards with games like requiring 16 gigabyte for recommended and like 50 gigabyte of space. Yeah, it's not. I don't think this is going to be like a super massive game. But if the systems and stuff were like really great, actually, let's just have a look at these things. If the systems and the foundation of those tactical battle parts and stuff were like great, you know, French chef kiss kind of great, I think it would be awesome. This could be a nice little small title that is awesome because at its core, it is sort of trying to get that Jagged Alliance feel. Really, really balls hard difficulty, okay? I don't know whether this game will have that same difficulty. I don't see an energy bar here. So it may not be an exact one-to-one sort of modern version of JA2. So, but I think they're trying to modernize it in a way. Hopefully it doesn't go the way that Jagged Alliance Rage went. But yeah, these are some pretty nice scenes. I don't see... I mean, maybe this is your base of operation, I guess. It's hard to tell. Maybe this is the base of operation. Clear weather, there's a dead there. A team morale. I guess this is your base in some ways. These look like villages and stuff. You can see that there is quite a bit of terrain. Very nice foliage, nice like palm trees. Sorry, banana trees. Those are not palm trees. So perhaps a Caribbeanish sort of locale, I guess. And these are your teams. They're just chilling over here. I wonder what's going on here. This has to be on a map. They are armed. And this is like, I don't know, just a environmental like render, I guess, because this is all like flooded and stuff. I don't think they're base. Mine level. Okay. Another village, almost very deserty, very dry, arid kind of region of the map. Some broken structures due to like bombings and stuff, I guess. So that looks like a great place to set up a sniper. You know, great tactical locations where you can set up sniper positions. This one is really like in the jungle and stuff, like a swamp area. And don't know whether you can drive vehicles around, but this looks like somebody just drove this and parked the car there. I don't know whether there's such mechanics there. Again, very dry, arid kind of location here. This is some sort of military base. These are all where missions will be held. This looks like some sort of like a drug lord's home or something. Villa or mansion actually. But it's been abandoned and stuff due to the war. This is a render. This is not concept art. But really nice, I must say. Overall, it looks nice. So the environments look nice. Maybe the textures and stuff may not be great, which is why I guess the minimum requirement, I guess, high. I guess. Yeah, that's Jagged Alliance 3. I really was quite surprised to see this title being announced, considering that previous entries have been an abject failure, an absolute failure. So I guess THQ Nordic believes that they have something that they can give it another shot and actually have a proper sequel this time. It's quite ballsy, I must say. It's quite brave of them to actually name this Jagged Alliance 3. But you know, the proof is in the pudding. Like once the game is out and once we have our hands on and thing, then we can sort of judge whether this game lives up to the Jagged Alliance name. And honestly, so far we've not seen anything close to a Jagged Alliance game, right? Maybe you could point out in terms of difficulties, those Commandos games, and I think Desperados 3, we just really the stuff like those sort of games, but those are real-time impossible. It's not really Jagged Alliance, which is turn-based. Jagged Alliance is turn-based, right? Which, by the way, just a small little info there, like when you enter into a battle, a map, right, it's in real time. Once you actually meet an enemy, that's when it turns into turn-based. That's how Jagged Alliance 2 was. So I guess this follow that basically. So yeah, tell me what you think about the Jagged Alliance 3 announcement. Have you played Jagged Alliance before? You know, have you seen people play? It's a pretty old game, so I don't think many people would have played Jagged Alliance 2 or have seen Jagged Alliance 2. It's not really the most popular game. You know, if you go to stream services or YouTube, you'll probably find Apex Legends or something, not Jagged Alliance 2. So, but if you do know about Jagged Alliance 2, tell me what you think about this announcement. You know? I'd really like to know what you think about it. So yeah, that's me for today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.